So the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother is now in day 10. The FBI team is removing cameras from the roof of the Guthrie home, and our next guest says perhaps they're hoping for better luck after the sheriff couldn't recover any video. Fox News digital reporter Michael Ruiz is covering the case on the ground, and he joins us live outside the Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. Michael, it's good to see you. We worked together on the ground during the Kohlberger case in Idaho. Since you've been on the ground, what have you been able to learn specifically about that back building, or what they may call a pool house?
Yeah, Lawrence, good morning. So that back building, it's a pool house or some kind of guest house. It sits a little bit behind the main house, and there were at least 2 cameras on the roof. One was facing towards the street, one was facing the backyard. Now, early on in the investigation, the sheriff said that they could not recover any video from the home, but the FBI came in later in the week and physically took the cameras off the roof. Presumably, they're doing some kind of digital forensic analysis of whatever they could find on the cameras. It sounds like there was no subscription to a cloud service to preserve the video, and that these cameras had a limited ability to record. But we know that the FBI has a lot of technology, and they may be able to get something out of the cameras that the local sheriff couldn't.
So, Michael, I'm glad you pointed that out, because the FBI has the best technology. They just have the resources, the labs to be able to do that. But you're learning from some of your reporting, and I've confirmed this with some of my sources as well, that there maybe have been some initial friction between the Bureau and the Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, we learned this last night. It sounds like it took days before they were really doing any kind of meaningful cooperation. And that may be why the FBI, days after the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, came to the house and got these cameras. If you go back to last Monday, the first press conference, we didn't visibly see an FBI presence there. Then on Tuesday, there's another press conference, and you see the special agent in charge of the local satellite office. I think the title is Assistant Special Agent. And it wasn't until Thursday that the special agent in charge of the field office out here in Phoenix came down and was physically present. And also, that same agent, we saw him at the home of Annie Guthrie going into the house a little bit before the first video response came in to that purported ransom note. So he was in there, perhaps with the family, as they were recording it.
Michael, can you tell me, you're very good about going out there talking with the people. What is the community saying there on the ground?
You know, there's a lot of concern for just an innocent elderly victim taken from her home in the dead of the night. It definitely rubs people the wrong way. There's apprehension, there's fear, there's concern. It's a strange vibe, and it's a big town here. I mean, the county has about 1 million people, but it's also a small town feel, and a lot of people that you run into have some kind of connection to everybody else you run into. So there's a sense of community here. There's a sense of an attack on the community, and we still have no answers.
Yeah, so Michael, Fox News Digital photographed some surveillance cameras along the route between Annie Guthrie and Nancy Guthrie's house. What did you see?
So, Lawrence, there are cameras everywhere in this county. It looks like almost every red light intersection has cameras. There are other, they call them flock cameras. They're all over the roads around here. There's also businesses with, nowadays, it's 2026, almost every business has a surveillance camera outside facing the road. They're hoping that some of these cameras caught something of interest to the investigation. And that's what they were sweeping over the weekend and last week, looking for stuff to give them clues and identify, right, a person of interest, a vehicle of interest, a suspect. Officially, they say that they haven't identified anyone yet, but they're doing a lot of work. You can see them around town. You can see them canvassing neighborhoods. They are clearly following down leads, and they're also soliciting more tips from the public. They want anybody who saw anything to report it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they piece this together. It's terrible that the FBI is just now getting involved to process that data when it comes to the cameras there. But I'm also hearing on the ground that it's hard to get a good quality shot because there's all these restrictions on these cameras with the lights. So it's going to be curious to see how this all plays out right there. But we got to get Nancy home. So hopefully they'll work better together on the ground. Thanks so much for joining the program, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.